Welcome to Half a Point, the podcast that saw Collingwood get bowed out in the prelim finals. Some would say we were robbed. I don't know. I know I'm a Collingwood fan, but I don't know. I thought we were robbed. Jamie Elliott had front on contact. Could have cut the lead down to six, but umpire didn't pay the free kick. Turns out he's not the grand final umpire. So if you don't do your job properly, you're going to get the axe. But as you can tell, not too bitter. This week is our grand final episode where we'll each be giving our best pick against the spread for the grand final. We'll also be giving out our read on the total, our read on our favorite player props as well. To help me break it down, I am joined by my co-host, Carlton superfan Cuss. Mate, we talked last week. Where you going to be watching the grand final from? Please tell the viewers.
Mate, I have a surprise for you. So I'm going down to WA as far away from the MCG as possible to watch this grand final.
Just is there a specific bar in WA you're going to be watching this game from, or
Nah, mate, on my phone, don't worry.
absolutely hates? He does anything in his power to get away from the MCG. I guess similar to Carlton.
Yeah,
As you
there we
can
go.
see today, we're joined by another special guest here. He's coming fourth in this year's picks competitions. Has had a really good season. He's an indoor cricket Hall of Famer. North Melbourne super fan Tish, welcome to Half a Point, mate.
Thanks for having me, gents. And yeah, look, I was very grateful to be invited into an AFL Grand Final event as a North fan. This is the first time wearing a North jersey in September, and I'm sure I'm one of the few from the North Melbourne fan club. So this one's for them. And then yeah, haven't been close to the MCG during September either. So, Carson, I can share that one with you as well. But
There we
thanks for
go.
having me, gents. Pleasure to be here.
If you're new to the channel, please leave a like on this video and subscribe. We're also active on TikTok, on X, and on Instagram, so give us a follow on those. And also a reminder to please gamble responsibly. All right, guys, let's jump into these prelim final games. Yeah, as you said, I think that's the first time North Melbourne's been mentioned in any September episode
Yeah.
or any AFL
Expect
podcast.
Yeah, expect a spike. Keyword search North
Yeah,
Melbourne.
yeah,
Yeah, there
yeah.
we go.
Few more members for North after this episode, I reckon. But let's jump into the prelim finals. Just a quick word on the prelims on the finals in general. I said at least that it's going to be a crazy like finals sort of stretch here where we saw a big difference between the top nine and bottom nine all seasons long. I think we've been talking about that almost every week, and I thought we'd honestly see some really good finals. But if you look at the actual results from all the finals, there's only been like one really good game, and I think that was the Fremantle Gold Coast game. The other ones, I think the lowest margin of victory was like 20 something points. Like they've all been sort of not blowouts, but like haven't really been competitive in the fourth quarter. So we haven't really seen, and I guess the Giants Hawthorn game in round one as well. But since then, both semifinals weren't that good. Both prelims weren't great. But we'll jump into it. Geelong Hawthorn. I was on the Hawks. Cuss, yeah, Tish, you were also on the Hawks. I think Cuss, you were on the Cats here. First quarter looked pretty good for Hawthorn, but then you looked at the scoreboard after at halftime and you felt like Hawthorn had given it given their best punch, but you look at the scoreboard and Geelong's up at halftime. So yeah, and then Geelong just carried that momentum into the second half and ended up dominating. Wasn't too competitive at the end of the day. I thought we're getting a pretty good number. All the movement, all the money was coming in on Geelong last week, as we mentioned. So this time the pros were right. I guess Hawthorn were a bit of a public dog in the end, but I didn't think it was a terrible pick. But yeah, Geelong, as we see, that's 2-0 as favourites in the finals. Cuss, what do you see with that game?
Yeah, like you said, it was pretty good half for Hawthorn. But then after that, Geelong were able to just chain up a few goals, and you could sort of see the momentum swings about three goals in a row for like each team just going back and forth. But I think, as I mentioned last week, just the coaching expertise of Chris Scott really helped in that aspect, and they were just able to maintain the lead there, and also absolute insane performance from Paddy Dangerfield. That was I don't know where he pulled that out of at that age, but unbelievable seeing it from him.
Tish, what did you see with that game?
Yeah, similar sentiment to you both. Was I think I tipped Hawks mainly because just felt there was something about them coming in almost like Bulldogs-esque of 2016 coming from not being a favorite coming in, but there was some energy about the young lads of Hawks, and I thought maybe there was enough hype there to get over the Geelong vets, but yeah, was proven very incorrect. First quarter was interesting. Hawks looked up, but yeah, like you said, I think Geelong just strung together four well-engineered quarters. Hawks looked like they just went too hard almost early and just didn't have it in the tank to keep going towards the back end of the game. And I think, like Cuss said, vintage from Danger. A lot of people have certain views about him, but he's an absolute like one of the few bulls left in the game that puts head first over the football. And to be honest, don't know what others think, but I love watching the guy when he's at full flight. One of the few old school footballers left in the game in terms of just real goes in through the middle, and I expect more of that this weekend as well. So yeah, I think they end up getting up by what 30 odd, and Geelong are even if you think back to your childhood, they've just been when you think finals, you always think Geelong. So they've done it again this year, and well deserved to go into the granny. So yeah, I'll lick my wounds on that one in terms of the losing that one.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw AFL 360 has like a vote system where they give out votes and then the best player gets like a car at the end of it. And Patrick Dangerfield won the whole thing. It's got to be
Yeah,
rigged, man. There's no way
yeah,
it's got to be rigged. Like I think like Geelong must be sponsored by Ford. I saw something on Twitter
yeah,
about
they are.
Yeah.
right.
So
Yeah, right.
Geelong is sponsored by Ford,
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure the is it Gary Lyon who
yeah. Gary
makes
Lyon.
it,
Gary Lyon does
and
the
he's
ticketing.
also like obviously, oh yeah, I'm sure there's some bias there, and also Paddy Dangerfield took a pay cut to stay at Geelong, so maybe
And he
maybe
also he also just always does the media like stuff, and he's
yeah.
always like on the show. It's got to be rigged,
So
man.
yeah, so if Danger, if you wanna say otherwise, let us know, mate.
That's right. Yeah. Moving on to Collingwood, Brisbane. Obviously, my boys go out there. Yeah, I know I was a bit bitter at the start there, but we probably lose that game 80 times out of 100. Even if that free kick was paid, as Craig McRae said in his presser afterwards. Yeah, I was on Collingwood and the points as well, laying the points there. So not a great outcome there. I thought Brisbane was done, man. But like again, as road dogs, they deliver. I think that's 6-1 against the spread. Maybe now 5-2 straight up in those. So it's just an insane record as road dogs this year. Um, but yeah, I think they were able to like they came off with a hot start, and then we were able to sort of stem the momentum and kick like six in a row, I think. And then afterwards in the third quarter, they just like came out playing, and that's obviously the premiership quarter there. So look, as a Collingwood fan, pretty good season, I guess, overall. Didn't really expect a prelim. To be fair, we won a premiership in 2023 where probably weren't meant to win. I thought we were a better chance this year, if I'm being completely honest. But as I said, once you win a premiership, you're pretty happy for 5 years. I can't imagine how you guys are feeling. So, yeah, I'm happy. I'll look back on my 2023 grand final highlights and live to fight another day. But Tish, what did you see with that game?
Two birds, one stone. Well played. Um, Yeah, I mean, as a neutral fan, it was good to watch. When I was actually happy to see Brisbane get up first quarter because you just know Collingwood. If I felt like if Collingwood got ahead, it's one-way traffic. So I think they were up by a good 20, I think, in the first quarter, and I think I kept Collingwood to one goal. So I thought there was a nice enough lead there, and then as you expect, Collingwood came back hard, and I think took the lead come second quarter. And then, yeah, it was then the second half, like by the end of the second quarter, I would have thought, yeah, this is probably all one way, Collingwood straight to the MCG. But yeah, it was just Brisbane the onslaught for the second half, and it just didn't stop. Like you were always as a neutral fan, I don't know, like, and maybe it's a bit of PTSD after I think Collingwood got us. When was that? Was that last year or this year? It's bloody long
It
season
was
when you
yeah, 2024. Yeah,
Yeah,
2020.
last year when
Yeah,
you guys came from out of nowhere, like some
yeah,
70 point against obviously us
yeah.
and as opposed to Brisbane. So so watching Collingwood, you always think they're going to come back at some point. But they just didn't. You kept waiting and waiting and they just didn't. And so I was probably surprised more than you do, Sean. I was expecting Collingwood to get up fairly comfortably. And again, obviously went 0-2, lost that in the tip. So I was surprised to see Lions get up, particularly after with Neil out as well. And ironically, they probably played better without him last week, which was interesting. So I'm sure we'll touch that when we talk about the grand final this week. But yeah, look, there was obviously interesting umpiring decision.
Yeah, thoughts on that free kick? Was it there?
Yeah, it's one of those ones. I think 8 out of 10 times I feel like that'd be front on contact.
Ten
When
out
you
of
look at the
ten.
replay, it's just like, well, I can't remember if I felt like his arms actually maybe didn't get knocked, but the thing is, the way when you see it real time, I think most people would say that should be a free kick, and it's one of those what ifs. Would that have changed the onslaught? Don't know. It may have because it would have stemmed the flow. So. Yeah, it's always a shame when umpiring decisions get in the way of it. But I mean, with the way that game went, it's hard to say objectively whether that would have fundamentally swung the onslaught that Brisbane put on in the second half.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I reckon Brisbane and the points was definitely the side. Cars, thoughts on the game, and also give us your take on the umpiring decision.
Yeah, I think I was pretty surprised as well. I was expecting Collingwood to get up, even like, 3/4 time when Brizzy kicked that goal late in the quarter. You don't count Collingwood out of these situations, even for the win at that point. Like, okay, maybe covering might not have been there, but at least for the win. So yeah, definitely surprised to see Brisbane get the upper hand here. In terms of the umpiring decision, I mean, if you look at it just like, you're not slowing it down or anything, not frame by frame, you think that's going to be a free kick almost every single time. I think every single time this year they've paid it, no matter what. And then, they're going to be the people that break it down frame by frame and like, okay, you know what, this actually follows the rules of like not breaking the rules, not like being a free kick. So yeah, I guess if that's how you want to put it, then fair enough. But yeah, I don't think that would have changed the result. I feel like, Brisbane just a better team out there on the day. And yeah, finished on top.
Yeah, so pretty disappointing prelim final weekend, I'd say, not in the games, but also at picks. So, Cast, you actually do okay. You went 1-1, 62 and 66, 48% against the spread. How did you sort of see it in terms of the spreads?
Um, yeah, I mean, it's this week, you mean?
Yeah, as in yeah, like last week, the
Yeah,
the
yeah.
prelims. Yeah,
But yeah, like I said, definitely surprised at Collingwood. I thought that was a pretty
yeah,
easy pick. But also I guess it's just Brisbane, you can't count them out. And then yeah, I was always pretty confident on the Geelong pick.
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I go on to so I'm 74 and 54, 58% against the spread still for the year. So overall, obviously the finals is less games, so it's not really going to affect the overall percentage of the whole year. So overall successful year, pretty disappointing finals, I'd say. But yeah, I picked a favorite and a dog. It was just the other way around. I didn't think they were the worst picks in the world. Probably Collingwood is probably a worse pick than Hawthorn, I'd say. But again, there probably is a world where Collingwood win that game and cover as well. So I'm not too mad at the picks. I'm not really going heavy on these final games as well. As you can tell, I probably don't love them as much. Tish, you had a bad week, but overall you've been pretty good. 65 and 63 above 500, 51% against the spread. How have you sort of found the whole competition in general? I think this is your first year joining in the contest. So
Yeah.
have you found it?
Yeah, no, been really good, really enjoyed it. And spreads I think were yeah, all fairly even. I think I had a good start, good fast. Actually, no, I think early on probably lagged, and then I had a few good weeks. And ironically, I think the week I got married, I had my worst result, and
That's right.
it hasn't been good since. Which is not a reflection of my married life by any means. Just
Can't win
to
them all. Can't win them all.
yeah, put a bit of disclaimer. But yeah, I think I had a pretty good middle run, and then I think you sort of came out late out of the blocks, and we haven't seen you since. So yeah, I probably liken my tipping a bit like to North Melbourne's approach to footy games. It's a good start, and then you drop off towards the end when it matters most. So hopefully we'll improve that next year. But like 51 against the spread first year, I'll take that.
Yeah, also top four finish. So yeah, a
Yeah.
bit less like North Melbourne there.
Yeah,
Um,
it's unknown territory for us. And quickly, just covering off finals.
yeah,
For me, I probably annoyed at myself now in hindsight, not going against Geelong. I think yeah, go. I think another reminder to always when you're going against Geelong, you're going at your own peril. They showed us a couple. Was it last year or the year before? I think a couple of years ago. You know when they were told they were the oldest team in the comp, and they all dressed up as
yeah,
old men or whatever it was during on that Mad Monday. And yeah, it
Yeah.
holds true again. So I'm pretty annoyed at that one. Brisbane Collingwood not so much. Like I think one of you gents said that could have gone either way. I'm still surprised to be honest that it wasn't Collingwood, but it's also good. It just shows that there is some evenness amongst some of these teams that on any given day it can be anyone's game. And I wholeheartedly agree with you, Duel. I remember watching the Granny a couple of years ago, and I was like, this isn't Brisbane. Like Brisbane probably lost that, and Collingwood sort of came out of. It was even, but I thought Brisbane would get up, and I thought this year Collingwood had a real good chance. But yeah, I mean they still got a very good list. I'm sure they'll add some bits and pieces to it over the off season and be back next year, right in the deep end. And hopefully, go one step for your sake.
yeah. In 23, I mean, we won by like 6-1 and like 4. So like
Yeah.
it's like we really just won the grand final. But whatever. I guess that's history now. We'll touch on the Brownlow medal just for a quick second. I don't care about the Brownlow medal. I don't watch it. I think I messaged you, Cass. You were messaging about the Brownlow, talking about Rowland Anderson, Rowland Dacos, and I was like, I'm not watching it. Tell me what's happening, but I'm not watching it. Look, I don't know. There's obviously some contentious calls. Cass, you were watching it. What's your take on it?
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like every year we see something like that where, the winner maybe gets a couple votes where they don't deserve it and, everyone picks apart that game. But I feel like just the Brownlow, it's not as big as it doesn't mean as much as it used to. Like now it's just, best midfielder of the year. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's hard to sort of get a read on it. I feel like a lot of people like to punt a bit of money on there, but yeah, you never know who's going to win really.
Yeah, Tish, do you reckon they should give the umpires the stats sheets?
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. Like I used to watch it, used to love it as a kid because I feel it was a bit more it felt a bit more reflective of probably the year that was. And nowadays it can be sort of I mean yeah, I didn't watch it to be absolutely honest. And to answer your question, I think it would help. Um, just because I think there's certain games I think that the Melbourne St Kilda one you saw the reactions from all the players. I mean that probably says everything that you need to know. You want some sort of alignment with moments like that. I think Naz deserved I think and there's nobody who would say he didn't deserve the three votes. Like that was,
Yeah,
unreal passage of play. And I think, the Brownlow is there is an occasion where plays like that and games like that from magical moments by play should be get the recognition it deserves. And in that instance, it wasn't, which is a shame. And that sort of then seeps into the integrity and more meritocracy of the Brownlow, which is meant to be the most illustrious award as a AFL player. But like you said, no one really, not too many people care as much as they once did, I think. And to Cuss's point, you're right. You probably have a better chance when you're a midfielder, which doesn't always reflect the impact of even your rucks and forwards, and I guess other players even in defence. So yeah, well, I don't know exactly what could be done. It is skewed towards midfielders, but I think getting stats at least in front of umpires to make or at least litmus test the call that they're making at, or
yeah,
the points that they sorry yeah the votes that they're giving out
votes. Yeah,
should be done because I think there was a discrepancy, right? I think in all due respect to Matty Rowell, I think there was I think he polled three votes in games where he got no votes from the
the
players or the
coaches,
coaches or
the
whatever it
coaches
was.
votes. Yeah,
Coaches, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. So I mean, you want to see some sort of alignment, or at least show the public, what what is actually what goes into actually giving
Hmm.
votes in these. Why did he if I use the Naz example, why did he get two and not three? I'd
Yeah.
just love to hear that.
Yeah.
What the science behind it is, but I suspect there isn't.
Yeah, they'll never do that.
Yeah,
But yeah. Anyway, moving on to the what everyone's been waiting for, their
the big
grand
dance.
final here, the big dance. Obviously, Geelong versus Brisbane. I'll go through some ins and outs first. Obviously, Tom Stewart, concussion protocol, he'll be out. Jared Berry, not sure with the shoulder. Lachie Neale might be an in. Who knows? He's reports that he might be playing. Who comes in for Stewart? Not sure. Stanley Nevitt. We're recording this on Wednesday night, so we don't really know what the final teams are. And even when they're released, we don't know what Geelong's going to do at the last minute. But keep an eye out on those. Obviously, it's a big deal. And see how the lines change as well. The last time they played, obviously, was in the qualifying final. Geelong was 6.5 point favorites, ended up winning outright and covering by 38 there. This time around, Geelong are 10.5 point favorites. Tish, who you got?
I got Geelong covering the line to win by 29.
Love
Wow,
it. Love it.
Yeah.
Give us your reasoning.
lovely.
I am licking the wounds of last week.
Hmm.
Geelong were clinical. Tom Stewart being out is massive. Like he is like the marshal of in the defense. Sort of organizes the players very much like I guess Harris Andrews does for Brisbane. But Danger's had a massive game last week. I expect your Bailey Smiths of the world. This is what he's waited for. So let's how Baz Lenka performs on on Saturday. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the hole that Stewart leaves, how they're going to cover that. But I guess if you sort of look at it on face value, yes, they lose a key backman, but then you look at Brisbane, Berry's even if like, there's no way Berry can be at 100%. I don't think with the injury cloud he's carrying. Even Lachie Neale, like I know he's been doing a lot of rehab and fair game to his strength and conditioning coaches and whoever else helps. But the intensity of a grand final, like I mean, it's next level, right? Like the noise, the tackles, like I just can't imagine someone who's done a calf to be able to play the same intensity. But hey, like it's Lachie Neale. If someone can do it, it's probably him. But again, like Geelong are going to know that they're going to put the effort into Lachie Neale and Berry if they're both playing. You're gonna try tag them or make life hard for them. So I think if you look at it on for me, if you look at it on face value and sort of compare the pair. Brisbane are probably more depleted in that sense from the midfield stocks, and I just someone like Danger, even like Max Holmes, I think he's a bit of a smoky as well to perform on Saturday. I think that'll
Mm.
cover up for Stewart not being in the back. Is my take.
Yep, that's fair. Cuss, who you got?
Mate, give me Brisbane plus 10.5, but they will not win the grand final. I don't think they'll be able to win it all, but I think they have a chance of covering here. It was only a couple of weeks ago that they met, and obviously Brisbane lost by quite a bit. But I guess that's just more room to learn for them on how they can approach this game. Obviously, we saw McCluggage get shut down. I think he maybe got like less than 15 touches that game. How he can sort of release from that tag, I think it's going to pay huge dividends for them. He's a massive player for them, and if he can get away from the tag, then anything is possible. Is it enough to, get the win from Geelong? Probably not. I feel like Geelong just really just play such great footy, especially when it comes to these big moments. And then, I like how you bring up Paddy Dangerfield, but last week it was a perfect game from him. To replicate that in the grand final, probably not going to be as easy. I'm not doubting that he's going to
Mm.
have a good game, but yeah, it'll be definitely a lot harder to replicate. But yeah, mate, I'm just looking so forward to this. It's going to be such a good
Mm.
match.
Give me Brisbane plus 10.5 here. I think this is a coin flip game. I think so. I'm just going to take the points. Will I be shocked if Geelong wins? Not really. How I'm looking at this game is I think if you saw the stats floating around this week where teams that have have played in the qualifying final. If they meet again in the grand final, I think 4 of the 5 times the team that lost the qualifying final won. The only time that
Mm.
that didn't happen was in 2018, where Collingwood lost in the qualifying final to West Coast and then lost again in the grand final to West Coast. Obviously, that was a coin flip game, the grand final. Maynard was blocked. Um, only 7 years ago. But yeah, so I do think it is an advantage for Brisbane that they played and they lost. I think the line last time was what, 6.5, right? So you're getting a better number on this team. But how I'm envisioning this game is I think it's just going to be a low scoring bit of a slog. We'll get to the total later on, but obviously I'm going to be on the under. But yeah, as in, I think, am I going to be shocked if Brisbane wins? Not at all. I'm going to throw a little bit on their money line as well. But yeah, I don't love this pick. I haven't been loving these finals, so I'm not hammering this at all by any stretch. There are a few props which I'd probably like more than the actual spread on the game. But yeah, Brisbane and the points for me. Speaking of the total, let's jump into it. It's 171 and a half. So I'm on the under, as I said. Final score, my prediction, 84 to 79. Geelong gets up by 5. If it's 84-79, Brisbane, not going to be shocked either. But how like, you have to come up with a hypothesis for the game script here. So what I think it's just going to be low scoring. So that's why I'm taking the points and that's why I'm taking the under. I feel like so yeah, I'm well under the total points there. If this is a blowout and if you're on Geelong, you think it's going to be a blowout, then I'd probably lean over if that's what you think it's going to be. But yeah, that's I don't see the game going like that. Cuss, what's your thoughts on the total?
Yeah, very close. I think it'll be Geelong 87, Brisbane 79. So
Oh, there you
very
go.
close to what you said. Yeah, and that's on the unders, I believe, if my maths is correct.
Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, like you said, I think it'll just be low scoring slog. There might be a quarter or two where they just have a bit of free flowing footy, but yeah, I think it'll be like a very defensive game.
Tish, you had Geelong by 29. What was your final score? And do you like the over or the under?
Oh, I'm going to be very borderline. I was thinking 99 and what's that? Whatever the maths on that is, like 70 or thereabouts, 70,
Lucky
99.
lucky your job doesn't involve maths.
Yeah, oh mate, you think I know more with a BCom degree, hey? So I think it's just we're gonna be just borderline. So what's 90? Yeah, I think I'll still be just unders. I think if I've done that
Well,
properly.
99.70 would be, yeah, just under. So it would be like
Yeah,
169 and a half. Oh,
yeah,
169. So
yeah,
179
yeah.
and a half.
So
Yeah. So
I
yeah.
am
Okay.
saying unders, and I know it's a bit of a boldish call to go so close to the margin. But I'm probably expecting a little bit of inaccuracy. Just I imagine I feel like it's going to be pretty congested. And it'll be interesting to see, I guess, also from a weather perspective. Been fairly low 20s, a little bit of dew. I imagine so because of that. But the MCG sort of drains up so well as well. But I imagine that will have some impact. So I'm not expecting like huge scores, but I think still, I mean, Geelong getting close to 100 or thereabouts. I am expecting with their forward lineup in there as well. So, but yeah, still saying unders even with Geelong taking a material win, I suppose, at 29 points.
Yeah, don't hate it. Just in general rule of thumb, I guess for totals, like even for favorites and underdogs, you want to be generally the public hits the favorite. So if you want to get a better number, if you want to be on Brisbane, probably wait until first bounce. You'll probably get a better number.
Mm.
Same with the total. Public usually tends to come in and hammer the over. They just public loves hitting overs. So maybe be patient. Wait, maybe we get like a better number, and then you can jump on the under closer to first bounce. If you like the over, I'd recommend going now. Let's talk about the Norm Smith. Let's give our predictions. I'll always like giving a long shot here. Tish, who do you think is a chance for the Norm Smith?
I think I probably alluded to it earlier, but I think in Maxi Holmes.
Yep.
We spent a lot of time on Danger and Baz. I think they will, like Cuss said, if Brisbane let Danger off the hook, Jesus Christ, like you probably deserve to lose a flag, like particularly after last week. So I think that some of those guys will get a lot of work, and I think Holmes will sort of run under the radar and rack up possession in the first couple quarters. And then I think I'm expecting him to take it home in the premiership quarter. And I think I was reading up a little bit just in the lead up, and I saw that there's a few few even AFL, some of the AFL folks are the experts in the game also saying Max home. So yeah, got a bit of confidence on that one.
That's never good, actually. It's shortest, yeah, third shortest odds there. That you're paying $9, so not the best odds, but I
Yeah,
mean, probably more likely to happen than not.
yeah.
Cuss,
Oh, look, I have one, but it's not going to be a lot of value. Like, oh, I think Bailey Smith is like an obvious pick.
yep.
He's always going to have a big game. He just knows how to find himself in a position where he can just get the ball pretty easily, and just rack up touches, maybe kick a couple goals like that. But if I want to give a bit of a risky one, I'm thinking maybe Jeremy Cameron. I think
Oh.
if he can kick a few goals, I think he'll be on for Norm Smith as well, and wouldn't he love it as well?
Yeah, $18, bit better there. Lockie Neal's actually paying $18 as well. How crazy is that? Um,
Wow.
I've gone with the long shot. Give me Oliver Dempsey. As in
Oh,
you can put him in for a goal from the goal square. Maybe kicks another snap. I don't know. Maybe you can kick a couple goals.
Yeah.
Run up and down the field. Rack up the touches. I don't know. I don't mind Grind Myers either at $26. Couple score assists. Get up in the touches. But as I said, the game script is I feel like it'll be a moments game. So I feel like if Dempsey has like 20, like maybe 22 touches and kicks three, and if I'm anticipating a Geelong low score win, then I feel like that could be enough to get it done. But yeah, it's paying $34. I think that's decent, pretty decent value there. Um, Finally, we'll give out our favorite prop of the grand final here. Um, Cuss, what's yours?
Mine is, I reckon Brad Close kicks two and will rack up 20 touches.
What's that paying? Oh my
I don't
God.
know. I'm not sure, but it'll be pretty good.
Yeah. Uh,
Make
Brad
sure
close
crunch the
two or
numbers.
more. Brad close two or more is paying at $5.90. So that's not bad. Tish, what about you?
I was probably thinking a little bit more.
Could be any prop, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I reckon. I mean, this is very mainstream. I was expecting Cam Rayner, the the beloved of Queensland, to kick three and have 25 touches.
Well, big
I don't know
payout.
about the touches. To kick three is $4.80. The touches is I don't know, it'd be I'll have a look at it.
I
25
mean,
more
someone's got to
than
touch it if Jared and Lockie Neal are playing with half an arm
yeah.
and leg.
Cam Rayner to touch it 25 times is $13. So that if you put those
Mate,
together, it'll be insane.
shut up and take
Say
my money.
Shut up and take my money. Shut up. Tish, please shut
they
up.
will.
Everyone don't
They
bet
will take your
that.
money, mate. They
I
will
mean,
take it.
someone's got to touch the ball if
Yeah,
Jared Perry and Lockie Neal are playing.
that's fair enough. I've gone the other end. I haven't gone a long shot here. I've gone a really safe one here. Give me Patrick Dangerfield under 20 and a half disposals. He had the best game of his life last week. There's no way. He's got the GVP car now. There's no way. I know he's a big game player, but like the 20 and a half is a hugely inflated number.
Yeah.
Don't bet these. I really don't like how they do it. Like they're really deceptive. The juice on these are terrible. So especially like they suck you into multis. Everyone, if you're listening to this, and you want to make money long term, please do not bet multis. It's like there's a reason why they advertise it all the time and they never advertise straight bets, right? Because it's the best way to make money. If you want to do it on grand final day for fun, fine. But just long term. Just if you want to lose money, that just bet multis. I like just that's why we put these spreads. They're long term winners, right? But I think there's genuine value on this player prop. Like Dangerfield, as I said, coming off the best game this season probably that he's had. He's a second. He has a second shortest odds for the Norm Smith as well. I feel like he's a public darling this week. He's been fronting the media as well. He's going to be on the front of everyone's mind. You could get a better number. As I said, the juice isn't great on these. But yeah, so as you can say, like the way they get you is they say like 20 plus, like 15 plus, but they don't allow you to bet the other side that, and then they reduce the odds there and they make you parlay them with other things, which is super stupid. So please don't do that long term. But I like that as a straight bet this time. They do, if you bet a lot, then they also limit how much you can bet, especially on these niche player props, but that's when you get down into the depths of the betting market there, which you can do in the grand final. There's obviously fun props to go off as well. Gents, I think that was a hell of a delivery there of all those different odds. I like the different angles that we're giving as well. Cuss, what are your closing thoughts before we wrap up here?
Mate, well, we're finally here, mate. This is what we sit out the whole year for. It's finally grand final day. So wherever you are in Australia or anywhere else in the world, I hope you're enjoying the game.
It's a 5 a.m. wake up for me. Tish,
Um,
closing thoughts, mate.
Firstly, mega thanks to you lads for running another great season. Very honoured to be here on the grand final. Special, especially as a North Melbourne fan. Thank you for keeping me relevant in September. But yeah, to Cuss's point, like this is what we wait for, a whole calendar year for. I always have PTSD from 2004, I think, when Geelong absolutely annihilated Port in the final. Like you just want a close game. I know I've got Geelong at plus at winning by 29, but I hope there's a big tackles, you know good hip and shoulders, clutch goals and runs from behind. You want to see the best of the best in the grand final. And I hope it's yeah, great viewing for everyone from every continent of the world. And I hope it's an enjoyable game given like Dilly said, some of the finals games have been a little bit lackluster. So I hope this one really lives up to it. And I think it's, if I've got it correct, I think this might be the first time these two teams are facing in the granny. If I am wrong, apologies, but I certainly haven't watched these two teams play in my lifetime. So I'm, yeah, very keen. And it's going to be a massive battle between some massive names of the game. So yeah, really looking forward to it. And yeah, I hope everyone gets to watch it with their loved ones from every corner of the world.
Yeah, well summed up there, Tish. Thank you very much for joining this episode as well. I think you did great insights there. Might have to bring you back next season, as long as you
Oh,
don't
mate.
take too much money away from us.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I'll be relevant next September. Don't you worry.
All right. Um, yeah, great stuff there. Hopefully we get a good grand final as well. Yeah, hopefully it's good for the sake of the bet and for the sake of the finals as well. Cuss and I will be back next week to break down the grand final as well. So please join in next week as well for our grand final breakdown and also our way too early 2026 early predictions. If you listened on the last year's version of the way too early 2025 picks, we were on the Adelaide Crows. So if you want next year's, team to be the hot sexy team for next year, then join in next week and you can
Right here,
listen
lads.
right here.
Jump
There we
on
go.
a week too early. I'm calling
Sneak
it now.
peek.
We're not okay. We're not delusional. All right. As a reminder, please leave a like on this video and subscribe. And until next week, see you later.